is you got to understand terror gripped the entire city. People were running from people, running from places, running from cars. They didn't care about a Lexus. They didn't care about a Mercedes. They didn't care about a Jaguar. It had no value to them at that point. It was all about, I got to save my life. And I want you to know today, it's all about, you got to save your life. There'll come a time in your life when stuff won't mean as much as it means to you now. When it comes down to your life, when it's a matter of life and death, stuff comes secondary. Somebody know what I'm talking about. And so they're going through the city, and while we're celebrating, somebody is contemplating. While the nation is celebrating, there's some people in that city that don't want this day to come, because I don't want you to regurgitate. I don't want you to bring back those memories that I'd almost put them to bed. Can I talk to the real people here? I was almost past it. And here's the nation every day on every channel, from CNN to PBS. Every station is talking about 9/11. And so what you don't understand, commentator, what you don't understand, CNN, is I really don't want to hear that, because I lost my mama in 9/11. I really don't want to hear that because I lost my husband. The last time I saw him was when I fixed him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and sent him off to work. It's the last day I ever spoke to him. You don't understand. I really don't want to hear that. My sister was in the World Trade building. And oftentimes when you speak of it, it makes me recognize it. I see it all over again. And in El Shaddai, you must understand that at ground zero, there's people walking by ground zero that don't have the luxury of having a funeral for their family. There's some people that are buried in the rubble that never came out. Let me help somebody. There's some people that are still down there. They did all they could to get the ones they could, but some people are buried so deep that they could not get them. So the city itself, the ground zero itself, becomes a memorial. Is that it is a resting place, that it is a funeral, it is the graveyard for their loved ones. So every time they walk by ground zero, they're going to have to retain in their mind, we didn't even get to bury our loved one. We don't even know what they looked like. We don't know what really happened to them. We don't know what part of this flooring that they're even under. We don't know how they suffered. We don't. There was no autopsy on my mama. I'm gonna help somebody here. There was no autopsy on my sister. They never found them. And you ought to understand that there will be some people who don't accept the Christ that won't be found. That they will go through life and they will matriculate and they will do everything, but when you stand before the judgment seat, they won't be found. Well, preacher proved that. He said, listen, I want you to depart from me, you worker of iniquity. I never even knew you. We don't even have time to have a conversation. It's because the way you have lived on earth does not validate you or even a talking conversation before me at the judgment seat. So depart from me, you worker of iniquity. I never knew you. Go join Satan and his angels in the lake of fire. This thing is real, El Shaddai. This is not a joke. This is not a play. This is not just social day on Sunday morning, but you better get your life lined up. I don't care what kind of residue is in your life. Jesus is in the washing business. He's in the cleansing business. He can clean anything that you're dealing with. He can wash you whiter as snow. The residue remains. Watch this. Since we know about 9/11 and how that's taking place and unfolding, you'll see more than I can tell you even today. You'll see it today. You'll see it tomorrow. You'll see it all week. But I just wanted to remind you that some people are still dealing with the residue of that event. They cannot cancel it out of their minds. It's a constant reminder every time they walk past it. You got to understand that some people have the problem with not being able to release things because they don't have the right tools, the right mechanism in which to know how to release stuff. See, just like you hook stuff up, there's a way to release it too. I'm gonna help somebody here. Everything that's going on in your life, you're not designed to just hold on to it. There are some things that you got to release to become who God has called you to be. So understand, just like you can hook it up, you can let it go. Tell somebody you can hook it up and you can let it go. Yeah, but you got to want to do it. Watch this thing. Watch this. Residue, Sister Pat. Residue. As we as Christians spend time with unsaved people. I've been hearing this all day, Sunday school and everywhere else. You spend more time with unsaved people, your mind and your ways become captive to their mind and their ways. They become the influential force and guide in your life. Whether you know it or not, they're influencing you. You're not influencing them. And you've got to be very cognizant of the fact of who I allow to pour into me is because somebody could be pouring soot into you. Oh my God, that will give you a lifelong problem down the road. You trying to shake it, you trying to get rid of it, you trying to get off of it, and you don't know why you can't shake it. It's because somebody has allowed soot to get on the inside of you. Based upon your connection with people, you got to understand that everybody's not trying to put soot on you. They're just full of it. They're not trying to put their problems on you. It's not an intentional endeavor. They're not trying to put their problem necessarily on you. It's just they're full of it. They're not trying to mess up your life. They're not trying to give you challenge and pause. They're not trying to make you angry and upset. It's just they are full of it. They're so full of soot. I'm going to talk to some real people here. They're so full of soot. They're so full of junk that when you are around them, you don't understand that you're ingesting that. Whatever you spend time with, some of it is rubbing off on you. Whether you like it or not, you can say all day, well, that's them smoking. I don't smoke. I don't smoke. That's just them. I run with them, but I don't do it. Well, let me help you real quick here. I've been around some people that smoke. And what happens is, I took one puff. But when I walk into my mama's house, I'm going to talk to some real people here. When I walk into mama's house, mama asking me, what you been smoking? And then I'm telling mama, you know I don't smoke. Why would you even ask me something like that? Well, she said, you smell like it. See, oftentimes you're not doing what your counterparts are doing, but you just smell like it. You're not actually partaking in what they're doing, but you smell like it. You're not doing everything they doing. You just riding with them, but you smell like it. You're not involved in everything they do, but when you get through, you smell like it. The residue. The residue still remains. We that are saved. I'm just talking to you now. If you ain't saved, I got something for you in a minute. Sometimes our hearing is peaked based upon the circumstances we are experiencing. I understand where I'm going here. We'll listen to people who don't have any relationship with God, but seem to have more in the natural and are in a better position than you. You've got to be careful that your counsel does not come from ungodly people based upon the things they have. See, oftentimes your situation will make you hear. Oftentimes, your situation that you're in will cause you to hear people who are not saved. Can I talk to the real people here? Well, Pastor, the reason why I talk to him is because he got it going on. He got 2 cars. Reason why I talk to her, because she got a job. The reason why I'm hooking up with them is because they can help me get a job. Reason why I'm going over their house, the only reason I'm going to happy hour is because they're going to hook me up with somebody. Compromising my spirituality, compromising my relationship with the Christ, compromising all the time it took me to get where I am today. Y'all not gonna hear me today. See, it takes a long time to get where you are. See, you better know that as a Christian, it takes a while to get where you are. You don't get what you got now overnight. It takes time to get here. And once you get here, you got to understand you cannot frolic with everybody and think you're going to stay saved. I don't care who you are. I don't care how long you've been in the church. I don't care how many choirs you sing in. I don't care what kind of departments you own. I don't care how much tithes you pay. You cannot stay saved running with unsaved folk. Now, I know it don't sound popular, and I know this don't make sense to some people. Wait, Pastor, now. It's some unsaved good people. I'm not talking about morals. I'm talking about spirit. So you got to be careful you don't get mixed up with gauging morals against spirit. See, there's a lot of good moral people out here, but they still ain't saved. And if they don't give their life to Christ, they're going to bust hell wide open. So morals don't save you. Like, God, well, what? What do you want me to do? He said, I want you to understand something. The investment I've made in you, the gifts, the abilities, the calls that I've placed in you are an investment. I'm going to help somebody here. Everybody don't have what you have. I have invested in you great things, and so I cannot allow you